All right, guys, hope everything's going all right. So now I want to talk about a second way of how to solve quadratics. And in this case, this is one of those things that next semester when they ask you, hey, Michael, do you know how to do this? You're going to say, I remember something about that, and that's what we're going to do here. But let me talk about, first of all, what a perfect square is. We've seen these before, but just to remind you, a perfect square, x squared plus 18x plus 81 is equal to x plus 9 times x plus 9. That is a perfect square, x plus 9 times x plus 9, multiplying the same thing times itself. And so my solutions would be -9, -9. But one of the things to notice about a perfect square, and I challenge you to check this out for yourself, notice that if I took half of 18 and squared it, I would get 81. So this is one of those things that is common to perfect squares. Is if I take my ax squared plus bx, if I take half of b and square it, I'll get my c, okay? So can I use that idea to solve these kinds of problems? So what I want to do is I'm going to solve the exact same problem that I did in the earlier video about factoring. I'm going to do the same exact problem, but using the perfect square. So I already know what the answer is going to be. You already know what the answer is going to be. But I'm going to add this one little twist. So we're going to solve this problem. X squared plus 10x plus 24 is equal to 0. And I say to myself, gee, this is almost a perfect square. If half of 10 is 5, 5 squared is 25. If that was a 25 instead of a 24, it would be a perfect square. So I'm going to use that, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to add 1 to both sides. And when I do that, so now I've got x squared plus 10x plus 25 is equal to 1. Let's ignore this for now, but this is a perfect square. So this is x plus 5 squared is equal to 1. So now what I need to do is find numbers that will make that true. Well, first thing I need to do is I recognize this is some number squared. So if I took the square root of that number, so for example, if it was 100, I'll take the square root of 100, that would be, what can I multiply times itself to get 10 squared or 100? It would be 10. So what's the square root of something squared? It's just that. But the rule is, whatever I do to one side, I got to do to the other. So I'm going to take the square root of 1 also, but the square root of 1 is just 1. Well, the square root of positive 1 is 1. So what's the other square root? Well, it's plus or minus 1. So -1 times -1 is a positive 1. 1 times 1 is a positive 1. This is true on this side too, but if I do it here, I've taken care of both sides. So now look what I've got. X plus 5 is either equal to 1 or x plus 5 is equal to -1. Well, what would make x plus 5 equal to 1? If I subtract 5 from both sides, if x is -4 or oh wait, no. Sorry. Subtract 5 from both sides, I get -6. Sure enough, that's what I got before. So completing the square basically is based on the idea that if I take half of this and square it, if that was that number, it would be a perfect square. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add that to both sides, make this a perfect square, and then take the square root of both sides. And I end up with the same solutions that I had before. This is a neat trick. This kind of led to my third one. This is one of those things that you probably won't use often, but you want to kind of have an idea, be aware that it exists, okay? So hope that helps. Stand by, I got a third video coming for you.